Pixar originally planned to make Woody the villain in Toy Story, which is pretty surprising considering he's one of the most beloved characters in animation history. Let's dive into what we know about Pixar's original story idea and why they ultimately decided to change it. As the first ever 3D computer animated movie, Toy Story holds a special place in animation history. When it hit theaters in 1995, it was an instant hit, catapulting Pixar to the top of the animated movie world. The film introduced us to unforgettable characters like Sheriff Woody, Buzz Lightyear, and the rest of Andy's toys, who have since become icons in their own right. But originally, Woody was supposed to be the bad guy. Can you imagine that? It's hard to picture him as anything other than the loyal leader of Andy's toys. So, what led Pixar to change their minds? Let's explore that further. From the very beginning, the Toy Story franchise revolved around Woody. He was Andy's top pick when the first movie kicked off, and naturally, he became the leader of the gang. But things took a turn when Buzz Lightyear entered the picture. Woody struggled with jealousy over Buzz's popularity, but they eventually patched things up by the end of the first movie, laying the foundation for their epic friendship. However, Toy Story 4 threw a curveball with its heartfelt conclusion, as Woody and Buzz parted ways. Woody realized that he could still find purpose in life even without being someone's toy, while Buzz stayed behind with Bonnie and the rest of the gang. It was a bittersweet but ultimately satisfying ending for Woody's character, bringing his journey full circle. But here's the kicker. Toy Story's original concept had Woody starting off in a completely different place. Let's explore how Woody's character journey evolved over the course of the franchise. During the early stages of Toy Story's development, the original idea was to turn Woody into the movie's main villain. Can you believe that? Early drafts and storyboards revealed a completely different side to Woody than what we're used to seeing. In these versions, Woody was portrayed as a ruthless tyrant who ruled over Andy's other toys with an iron fist. When Buzz Lightyear entered the scene, Woody's jealousy and animosity toward him were dialed up to the max. He wasn't just a little envious, he was downright hostile. In fact, in one draft, Woody was shown intentionally tossing Buzz out of Andy's bedroom window, hoping to get rid of him for good. Woody's sinister behavior didn't stop there. He was depicted as constantly berating and mistreating Andy's other toys, including beloved characters like Bo Peep and Slinky Dog. And get this, instead of being a lovable cowboy, Woody was originally conceived as a ventriloquist doll, which gave him a much creepier vibe. It's hard to imagine Woody as anything but the caring leader of Andy's toys, but it just goes to show how much a character can evolve during the creative process. Woody's stint as the villain in Toy Story was scrapped after a disastrous meeting with Disney bigwigs. The early version of the film, famously dubbed the Black Friday Reel, was met with a resounding thud when it was screened in November 1993. People just weren't feeling it. The decision to make Woody the bad guy was partly influenced by then Disney chairman Jeffrey Katzenberg's desire to inject a bit more adult flavor into the movie. But it didn't sit well with audiences, to say the least. The negative feedback was so overwhelming that Disney execs hit the panic button and ordered production to be shut down for a solid 2 weeks. Rumor had it that Toy Story was on the chopping block entirely. But Pixar wasn't about to let their groundbreaking project go down without a fight. Instead of throwing in the towel, they used those 2 weeks to roll up their sleeves and overhaul the story, characters, and pretty much everything else. And guess what? They pulled it off. Toy Story was salvaged, and the rest, as they say, is history. It's hard to picture Toy Story without Woody as the lovable leader of Andy's toys. Scrapping the idea of making him the villain was a game-changer for the movie and for Pixar as a whole. Without this pivotal decision, who knows where the studio would be today? Sure, Pixar might have still churned out hits like A Bug's Life, but the success of the Toy Story franchise might never have happened. And even if it did, Woody's character would have been completely different. Thankfully, Pixar recognized the need for change and transformed Woody into one of their most iconic and beloved characters. It just goes to show the power of a good rewrite.